Sharks are some of the most ferocious predators in the deep blue. When they spot their next meal, it's endgame for their prey. Though unlike what we see in Hollywood movies, sharks don't actually attack humans and would much rather eat fish and other marine creatures. But when they mistake us for dinner, it's time to swim for dear life. Here are 10 shark attacks you won't believe. What's up, Facnatics? This is Discovery Amuse, serving up your daily dose of the most outrageous, outlandish, and out-of-this-world fun facts. Stay tuned for our number 1 pick, because it might just ruin your plans for your next beach trip. Sink your teeth into this. Number 10. A diver's worst nightmare. On December 8, 1963, Australian conservationist Rodney Fox dove into the waters of Aldinga Beach to defend his South Australian spearfishing crown. However, in an unfortunate turn of events, the hunter suddenly became the hunted. Out of the blue, a great white shark clamped its sharp teeth around Fox's midsection, dragging him around the water. He was able to free himself from his attacker by gouging its eyes, but the shark was persistent and kept on coming back for another attempt. After the third attack that nearly drowned Fox, he was fortunately saved and pulled up onto a boat. The gruesome attack resulted in broken bones, punctured internal organs, and an exposed abdomen. The one thing that kept his guts from spilling out was his wetsuit. Fox was able to survive one of the worst shark attacks in the world with 462 stitches and a fragment of the shark's tooth in his wrist. Keep watching, because our number 1 entry is a cautionary tale for parents to keep an eye on their kids while on the beach. Number 9. Don't mess with the wrong surfer. Hawaiian surfer Joshua Hawley was riding the waves off the coast of Oahu in April 2012 when he suddenly felt a thud on the left side of his body. When he turned his head to check, the sight of a 10-foot tiger shark's dorsal fin waved at him. He then felt something pop in his foot, but was too overcome with the adrenaline rush to feel anything. At the moment, Hawley knew he had to think fast before the shark jumped up from the water for a brutal attack. When it finally did, he quickly gave the shark a knuckle sandwich, sending the predator dashing away from him. He even yelled, "I'm not gonna die today." Arya Stark would be so proud.
Not today.
Number 8. Heroic dolphins. Aside from being quick learners, dolphins are also known for their playfulness and friendliness when they are around humans. They will even go to great lengths to protect someone who they think is in danger. This is what a pod of dolphins did for lifeguard Rob Howes, his 15-year-old daughter, and 2 of her friends on one fateful day in November 2004. Howes and the kids were swimming off the northern coast of New Zealand when the dolphins began circling around them, trying to herd them closer to each other. A confused Rob tried to escape, but a pair of bigger dolphins drove him back. He soon realized that the friendly sea mammals were actually protecting them from a shark that was about to swim towards them from 2 meters away. Needless to say, Howes and the kids flipped out in gratitude. Number 7. Up close and personal. In 2012, underwater photographer and conservationist Russell Eaton went diving in the Bahamas armed with his camera to take some snaps of a 12-foot tiger shark. But as luck would have it, he almost got the wrong kind of snap. As Easton was looking at the viewfinder, he saw what appeared to be a huge mouth with razor-sharp teeth. Little did he know the shark was already attacking his equipment. Ah, snap! Perhaps the shark sensed it was being framed, so it had to defend itself. Fortunately, the shark was more interested in the camera, so Easton had a few extra seconds to swim for his life. Number 6. A cinematic encounter. Now, this next survival story was so amazing it actually inspired a full-length movie. On October 31, 2005, then 13-year-old Bethany Hamilton went on a morning surf with her best friend's family off the coast of Tunnels Beach in Hawaii. If you think she's too young to be out surfing, well, Bethany actually came from a family of surfers and has been catching the waves since she was 8. But just when Bethany thought she'd already mastered the deep blue sea, on that life-changing day, a 4.3-meter tiger shark suddenly chomped off a chunk of her board. It all happened so fast that she wasn't even aware the shark had severed her left arm like, quote-unquote, a piece of steak. Her words, not mine. She was quickly rushed to the hospital and luckily survived the attack. Amazingly, the incident didn't dampen Bethany's spirit, and just a month after, she went back to her surfboard like a true child of the sea. Number 5. Mom vs. Shark. A mother's love certainly knows no bounds. In 2012, Valet Levy and her 15-year-old daughter Sydney were out paddling on their surfboards at the New Smyrna beach in Florida when they faced a horrifying encounter that shook them to the core. Like a scene straight out of Jaws, Sydney was suddenly pulled underwater by a shark twice. Valet's instincts kicked into high gear. She grabbed Sydney by the shoulders and pulled her up to the nose of her board. Thankfully, just a few moments later, 2 surfers heard their screams and came to the rescue. Kids, do yourself a favor and hug your moms today. Number 4. Trouble in Paradise. Basking in the sun, relaxing on beautiful beaches, and going for a nice swim. This was the kind of holiday Krishna Thompson and his wife had in mind when they flew to the Bahamas back in 2001 to celebrate their anniversary. However, someone or something wanted to rain on the couple's parade. While Krishna was swimming alone in a deep part of the sea, a bull shark suddenly clamped on his leg and pulled him underwater. When it stopped dragging him around, Krishna unleashed his inner Muhammad Ali and threw jabs at the shark, making it swim away. With all the strength he had left, Krishna swam back to shore to get help. He was rushed to the hospital where doctors had to amputate his badly injured leg and give him blood transfusions, which ultimately saved his life. Number 3. Just some artwork. If you ever wondered what a shark attack in the 1700s looked like, you might want to check out this masterpiece by American painter John Singleton Copley called Watson and the Shark. The painting shows a 14-year-old cabin boy being rescued by his shipmates from an aggressive shark that is about to maul him. It is actually based on the real-life shark attack of English merchant and politician Brooke Watson back in 1749. Watson was swimming along the Havana harbor in Cuba when a shark attacked him not once, but twice. The first bite removed the flesh from his lower right leg, while the second one caused him to lose his right foot. Before the shark was able to go in for a third attack, Watson's crewmates were able to pull him up on a boat. Number 2. Scarier than fiction. Dutch-Aussie filmmaker Henri Boers made quite a name for himself when he produced a documentary film in 1969 about a near-fatal shark attack titled Savage Shadows. The subject? The filmmaker himself. It all happened in 1964 when Henri and his 2 diving partners were swimming around with seals off the coast of Lady Julia Percy Island in Australia. Out of nowhere, a great white shark suddenly came up from underneath and bit Henri's leg. In a desperate attempt to break free from the shark, he punched its throat and gouged its eyes. However, it was too late as the shark already bit off his leg. Fortunately, the other divers were able to pull Henri up on the boat and rush him to shore. And as the saying goes, Henri lived to tell the tale. Before we go to our number 1 pick, do us a solid and make sure to smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Don't forget to choose all so you won't miss out on any of our latest life-changing, boredom-busting content. And of course, be sure to turn on notifications in your app's settings. Number 1. In Shallow Waters. In 2001, a then 8-year-old American boy named Jesse Arbogast and his family were enjoying a day at the beach off of Florida's Panhandle when tragedy struck, which almost caused the boy his life. Jesse was swimming in knee-deep water when a 7-foot bull shark snapped off his right arm and a large portion of muscle from his thigh. His uncle quickly jumped in to stop the attack and tried to wrestle the shark back to the shore. A park ranger who was nearby then shot and killed it. The boy was then airlifted to the hospital with EMTs rushing on board an ambulance to bring his recovered arm. Jesse's arm was reattached through a surgery that lasted almost 12 hours. Doctors said the massive blood loss likely affected his brain. In fact, he was still in a light coma when he was discharged 5 weeks after the incident. A decade later, and the kid was still confined to his wheelchair, with bite marks serving as a reminder of the near-fatal accident. How about you? Have you ever had a close encounter with a real-life shark? Tell us all about it in the comments section below. Take home any of our exclusive gear by browsing our merch shelf or clicking the link in the video description, and while you're at it, take our quiz to find out how you can earn extra cash online doing what you do best. Awesome, right? And for more terrifying moments in the animal kingdom, check out our roundup of the 10 most dangerous ocean creatures in the world. Till then, stay alert, Fact Addicts, and see you in the next video.